Leadership matters. It provides a visionary and commendable set of goals for a people to obtain. It sets a course for a journey from dream to reality, from instability to prosperity. It calibrates the tone to ensure that division becomes united determination, disbelief becomes drive and perseverance, and failure becomes a pit stop to success, not a new normal to adjust to. During these times of economic inconsistencies, urban violence and blight, government corruption, police community challenges, and international terrorism, it may be easy to blame some individuals for much of what we're seeing. And yes, there are specific individuals and policies that are responsible for where we are today due to their advocacy in some areas and lack of action and focus in other areas. However, the keystone blame does not lay just in the numbers of our leaders. It rests with the current absence of leadership. Leadership is an essence that breathes air into the possibilities of hope and potential. It is the inspiration that encourages another try after multiple attempts. It is the hand up when we feel down and out. It is the head up when our feet are dragging and our morale is low. Sadly, the vacuum of leadership, from the war against terror to the fight for international stability to the battle against corruption, as we are seeing in Chicago, North Charleston, and elsewhere, that void of leadership takes the wind out of the sails of progress. It makes us rudderless, powerless to defend ourselves effectively, motionless as we watch opportunities for prosperity and greatness pass us by, and hopeless to change the narrative and realities facing too many of us in our nation. Leadership matters, and every time we come to the crossroads of crisis and tragedy, we are forced to address our definition, fulfillment, and appreciation for true leadership. Leadership is not popularity. It is not being the loudest or the boldest in the fight for gun control or Muslim databases. It is not about who has the longest tenure in office or who has the most partisan colleagues in their chamber. Leadership, it's the difference between life and death for too many Americans and our global neighbors on an hourly and daily basis. Leadership is the difference between calming the afraid and encouraging the peacemakers versus shaming our apprehension and authorizing mediocrity. Leadership is the difference between seeing crisis in a holistic fashion or, as Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel has told plenty of his political allies from Clinton to Obama, never allow a good crisis to go to waste. Leadership is the difference between loving people who you work with or just dealing with people where you work. From the candy store at the corner where people make minimum wage to working across the ocean with many nations or across the aisle in Washington, D.C. and elsewhere. The bullets flying in San Bernardino in Chicago, in the Hill District and in Houston, Texas, those tragedies, every single one of them, is a sign of our times, but it is also a sign of our current leadership. In order to complete the healing and secure the peace, from Paris to Pittsburgh, we must fill the void in our hearts that is leading us to the terrible incidences that are ripping apart our world. Yet, in order to do so, we must also look to fill the voids we're seeing in what we call leadership, from what we accept from leaders, and where we are currently being led to as a society.